In this video, we're going to talk about more ways to use the 1 through 20 Rekenrek. My name is Tessa and I'm a first and second grade teacher staying at home now with my two boys. So I've made a few videos already about a Rekenrek. We've talked about what it is, how to make one, and then we looked at just the basics of, say, a 0 through 5 or a 0 through 10 math rack. If you haven't seen those, you can check that out in the description box below. I'll have the links there. But for this video, we're going to really focus on once they've got that firm foundation of 0 through 10 numbers, then we're going to look at more ways to do the math rack with 0 through 20 numbers. Really quick before we get started, if you're wondering where to get a Rekenrek like this, I'll have some options also listed in the description box below. Okay, so let's go over some basics like we did in the last video, although this will just be the 1 through 20, so you'll see how it'll look a little different adding in that second row. So we've got white to the right. So let's say you ask them to show you 14. So from working with the 0 through 10, they might see that whole top row and know that that's 10. Okay, and then they might find 4 more. So you can ask another way to do that, or ask them to show you another way to do that. So the way they can subitize a little differently, they might see all the reds and know that 2 rows of reds is 10. So they might have that 10 and then the 4 more whites. Okay, so you'll see how it looks a little different and they can make numbers more different ways now. Probably heard me say subitizing a lot because it's just a great important skill to help them visually work with numbers. So if you want more information on that, there'll be a video down below regarding that. The idea here is just repetition, making numbers, composing, putting them together, and then decomposing, taking them apart. So they just really know ways to make numbers. So that transfers over as they start working with larger numbers. So you'll go through doing the show me where they show you different numbers. You can ask them different ways to make it. And then you can show them numbers and see how fast they can identify that number and tell you what it is or how many. You can also do the how many more game with this as well, where just working with the larger numbers in 2 rows. And you can still do how many more until 10. You can do it a little differently though. You can do maybe like this and ask them how many more until 10 and see if they can, maybe they'll know they can just use the reds over here, okay? Or you can then start working on how many more until 20. So you might have this number and ask them how many more until 20. And so they're looking at how many more is over here because they know the whole thing's 20. And so they'll see the 5 white. They know right away 5 and 1 more is 6. Okay, so you'll start seeing how they can come up with the numbers quicker. You can also have them record all those combinations of ways to make numbers on the whiteboard, similar to what we did in the last video. There'll just be more different ways, and then they'll start connecting seeing the numbers and the equations with what it looks like on here. So just helping their brain visually connect that. Okay, by now they should be fairly fluent using the math rack. So let's look at some different ideas. You can do missing number problems. So we've been looking at problems that have both of the parts and then they find the whole. So for example, 3 plus 4 equals whatever, and then they find the whole, so they've got both of these parts. So a missing number would be, my pen got pushed down, so that's why I'm writing funny. So 3 plus something equals 7. So missing number equations are where you are missing one of the parts. Okay, so you've got a part, you need another part to make the whole. Okay, so how that would look on a math rack, instead of doing, we've got 3 and 4 makes 7, or we've got 3 plus 4, 2 and 2 makes 4, so they can do 7 that way. So for missing number, we've got 3 we need some more to make 7, or they can use the second row as well, right? So we've got 3, and then if they can visualize what 7 looks like, and they know 7 looks like this, so then they can see how many more they had to push over. Sorry for the excited baby in the background. So those are missing number equations. You also can include subtraction problems. So we've been doing mostly addition so far, but the subtraction you can do as well. So let's just say we'll stick with those same numbers. So we can do 7 minus 3 equals and have them find that. Or if you want to stick with the missing numbers, you can do that with subtraction as well. 7 minus something equals 3. Okay, so this is where they'll be starting with the total and taking away. So it's just a little different. You can talk to them about when they take away, they push back to the resetting side, and then they can see what numbers they're left with. Okay. In addition to subtraction, there are turnaround facts, and I'll show you what those look like. We'll just stick with our same numbers here. So we've got 3 plus 4, and then the turnaround fact to that would just be simply turned around. Okay, so they'll see 3 and 4 make 7, and then if they turned that around and did the 4 and 3, okay, and that's just one example. They could do it different ways. They could do it all on the top. So you'll see they do that differently. Okay, so those are turnaround facts. And then another thing similar to that is a fact family. So that includes these turnaround facts as well as subtraction. So it would be, let's say 7 take away 3 equals 4, and then 7 take away 4 equals 3. Okay, so they'll just get familiar with seeing these and as they relate visually on the math rack. So they could start with 7 this way, and they could see taking away 3 makes 4, or 7 taking away 4 makes 3. Another great thing to practice is with the 1 through 20 Rekenrek is doubles facts and doubles plus 1. So that would just simply look like 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, right? 5 plus 5. These are all doubles facts. And then doubles plus 1 would be something like 1 plus 2, 3 plus 4. Okay, they could see how 2 is 1 more than 1. So if they know they're 1 and 1 doubles, then 1 more makes 2. So here's what it would look like on the math rack. So you could just start by moving 1 and 1, and then they see this 2, moving 2 and 2, right? 3 and 3. So they kind of see that, and you can have them record too. I would have them record, maybe not every time, but just so they can relate that equation visually to what it looks like on the math rack. Okay, so those are doubles, and then doubles plus 1 would look like this. So they could see here's their double, and then they've got 1 more. So if they know their doubles, which these are pretty easy for kids to pick up just with, you know, constant repetition and practice, they'll start to know 3 and 3 is 6, so then 1 more makes 7. 1 more than 6 is 7. Okay, so that's how you could use doubles and doubles plus 1. And with all of these, you can incorporate word problems. If you saw my last one, you know I love word problems for kids to be able to explain their thinking and reason mathematically through what they've done. So with all of these, addition, subtraction, missing numbers, doubles, you can kind of incorporate all of those with word problems. Someone took my chair. So thank you for sticking around for another Rekenrek video. Hopefully you found a new idea to try with your kiddo. Please consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video for more math, reading, and writing ideas for your kids. Thanks for watching and have a great day.